Hi, I'm Sydney Moore, and today I wanted to talk about the end of Chapter 16, the section on crafting a marketing message that fosters change. So in this section, I thought it was really important and cool that they listed 8 characteristics that should be present in order for change to occur in the participant. The first characteristic is that they need to believe that they are at risk and the consequences are severe. So in the workshop that my partner and I are going to put on this semester, we're going to be talking to couples about communication and how communication can build a healthy and strong marriage and strengthen that marriage and the unity within that marriage. So the first characteristic then for our audience would be that they need to recognize that they're at risk for not having a healthy marriage and for not having proper or good, not even proper, but good communication that's effective. And then they need to realize or understand or believe that that risk, the consequences of it would be severe and damaging, that it could really harm their marriage and their family relationships. The second characteristic is that they need to believe that proposed behavior would lower the risk or prevent the problem. So when I thought about that, in terms of marketing for the workshop that we're going to be doing, it made me think about or question how can we effectively market that? We are targeting our audience to married couples within the church in our own wards or area, and marketing within a church building is kind of tricky. Sometimes you have to get permission for certain things, and even if we did have permission to market within the church building, within our ward building, I think that it's kind of tricky to market in a way that is appealing, because for whatever reason, marriage workshops can be a difficult thing for people to commit to. I think it's hard for people, and because of society and the way that we view marriage, I think it's sometimes hard for people to want to admit that they either have problems or have work to do in their marriage. And the fact is that we all have work. We all will always have work to do in our marriages too. There's always work to be improved. So I think that we need to elicit within our marketing a belief that this program will help lower the risk of having marital issues or a weak marriage or relationship because of a lack of effective communication. The third characteristic is that they need to believe the advantages of performing behavior, and that those advantages will outweigh the disadvantages or the costs of going. So I think an important thing would be for us to acknowledge that there's a myth with coming, and that the benefits of coming far outweigh whatever myth or belief that they might go into it thinking that, I don't know, maybe a myth about this program could be, or a false idea could be, that spending time away from their family to go to this program would be hard, would cause more stress on their family relationships, because I think we're going to probably do it on a Saturday, and lots of things happen on Saturdays, especially in the summertime. There's lots of sporting activities and camping trips and girls camp and youth activities, and it's hard to make that time, especially as a couple, to go and attend a workshop for yourselves and not have your kids involved and have to deal with them and where to put them for babysitting and stuff. But the benefit of coming needs to outweigh all of those costs, and they need to believe that. So I think the challenge for my partner and I is finding a way that we can market that effectively and help them understand and feel and really do believe that attending this workshop will be of great value for them and their marriage and their family overall. And the next characteristic is that they need to believe that they're going to perform the behaviors that they learn. I think that that's going to also be kind of a tricky thing to do. Especially the first example that came to my mind when I read that was, as a student, how many times have we taken a class and just gone through it for 12 or 14 weeks and not really retained a lot. If I'm honest, my statistics class, I'm not sure I remember a lot about SPSS, and in fact, I know I don't, because I'm in another class that's using that this semester, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not remembering that stuff. I don't want that same scenario to happen with the people that attend our workshop. I hope that it will be effective enough that they'll be able to take away things that they can actually implement into their marriage, and that they actually will, and make real changes within how they communicate and connect with one another. So in our marketing, I need to be conscious of that, and make them also believe that they'll be able to take away some tangible skill that they will be able to perform. Which leads to the next thing, is that they need to believe that that they have the skills to perform the behavior, that they are capable of doing so, and that the scenarios and the examples that are listed in and given in this workshop can be applied to their own lives. And I think the way that you do that is by providing several models of that behavior occurring, whether it's within my own marriage or within just other examples. And so I need to find those examples and have them ready of real marriages, real relationships where changes have occurred, communication has improved, they've been able to connect more, they've been able to understand each other better, and put away the stresses of life, or be able to handle the stresses of life together as a couple, and not just remain separate or as individuals in dealing with those issues. The next characteristic is that they need to believe that the behavior that's being taught in these or modeled in these workshops is consistent with their own value system. Now, I'm grateful that the audience that we're targeting this workshop towards has the same religion as I do, and that it'll be held at our church building, and that the material that we'll be using will be coming from a church-sponsored school, and from classes that I've taken here. But I need that to be definitely shared and understood by the participants, that the information that's being shared with them and modeled for them is in line with what they value and what they believe. I also, the next characteristic is about social norms, and we need to market our program to show a majority of people value the benefits of this workshop. Again, I think that there tends or can be this stipulation about marriage workshops or counseling or something, and it's kind of a taboo subject. And I think it's going to also be a challenge, but a worthy one, for us to market in a way that shows that everyone wants a healthy marriage, and everyone wants a strong marriage, and everyone wants to have, or majority of people want those things, and majority of people want to have an effective communication with their spouse, to be able to connect with them, and so forth. So we definitely need to be able to model that in the way we market. The last characteristic is talking about barriers to performing the behavior, and we need to have our audience reach a point where they believe that the barriers that they may experience will be fewer than, or it'll be better to go through those barriers and still perform the behavior that they've been taught or shown, than it would be to just not perform it at all. Some of those barriers are physical, some are emotional and psychological, some are social and cultural. So we need to address those, be aware of them, and then display ways that we can overcome those barriers or get through them and still perform the things that we're talking about as individuals and as a couple. So yeah, those characteristics I thought were really interesting, and I think that if we are able to address them, that the FLE program that we put on, the workshop that we do, can be really effective. Again, I think it all goes back to, as the reading said, it goes back to the audience and what their needs are. They need to know that they have these needs, be able to acknowledge them. They need to know that these needs can be addressed and satisfied, and that doing something about it and working on it is a lot better and will pay off so much more than to just not do anything at all. So yeah, those are my thoughts about the reading so far. Thanks.